Babies are crying. We need to get them food. The president is quite correct. We must do something as quickly as possible, but as safely as possible, and use caution for these babies. But we have to move quickly to do that. And part of this is, again, the supply chain issue.
Oh, as usual, Nancy Pelosi is totally full of hot air. I mean, that's pretty much all we get from her. Look, we talked about this yesterday. The fact is that we have a crisis on our southern border. Of course, we want to take care of babies, Nancy Pelosi. No one is suggesting otherwise. But the fact that we have Americans that cannot find formula for their babies, and apparently there is a surplus on our southern border, is an issue for a lot of Americans. I think about the possibility that what if there's a Border Patrol agent whose family is struggling to find baby formula, yet he or she has to pass it out to illegal immigrants? That must be a really tough pill to swallow.
I'm Max Burns, and that was Fox News taking a break from their regularly scheduled diet of white replacement theory propaganda to complain about, well, everything, from Nancy Pelosi to gas prices to inflation. But tucked away in that fact-free Fox News tirade is a line that's crazy even by Republican standards, that Joe Biden and Democrats are secretly co-opted by a bunch of liberal leftists who really control them. Here's Fox News contributor Leo Terrell melting down for the cameras about it.
I'm in the bluest of blue state. This state has sold its soul to the Democratic progressive left. And you know what, Sean? They don't care about average Americans. The working class has basically been sold out to the Green New Deal, to the progressive left. We are facing the highest gas prices ever, historic. And the Democratic leadership in California does not care. They're going to ram down this climate program, this climate change down the throats of Americans. So this is the problem that we have. This is why we're hoping for relief in November. We're hoping, and I think it's very clear, save this tape, Nancy Pelosi will be retired as Speaker in November. And the key here is with hopefully a Republican Congress, we can neutralize this crazy explosion of spending and hopefully get some relief for average Americans.
There's a reason Fox News doesn't want to report on what's actually happening in America. That would mean talking about 18-year-old Peyton Gendron, the white supremacist who murdered 10 people in Buffalo, New York on May 14th. That would mean talking about how Gendron was radicalized by the same white replacement theory conspiracies that have been given primetime billing on Fox's top-rated show, appearing in over 400 episodes of Tucker Carlson Tonight. And because no one at Fox is allowed to talk about the white supremacist mass murder still being investigated, they moved on to the next best thing, debating whether House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was stealing baby formula to give to immigrants. Fox News thrives from pushing the national conversation further and further to the right. That distorts our public policy by making traditionally common-sense centrist policies seem radically left by comparison. And actual progressive ideas? Forget about it. That might as well be communism. Fox's mastery at shifting the Overton window is in full play as Republicans rocket toward an explosive 2022 midterm election cycle. Republicans don't want to talk about abortion, white supremacy, gun violence, or their shaky loyalty to the Constitution. And Fox News wants to convince you that you don't want to talk about those things either. It's no coincidence that the issues that Fox doesn't want Americans talking about are also the issues where Democrats beat Republicans soundly in favorability polling. A recent Hart Research survey found that when elections focus on abortion, voters in swing states shift to Democrats by a nearly 71-point margin. And that advantage extends to the environment, too, where Pew Research found that over half of Americans nationally and a quarter of self-identified conservative Republicans said that climate change policies do more good than harm. But not in Foxland. Not a single Fox News program has ever referenced those surveys. Fox News and the GOP don't want to talk about the America that we actually live in. But with no coordinated pushback from Democrats' network of communication shops and consultants, that political distortion field is the reality a growing number of Americans believe is true. If Republicans recapture Congress this November, our national Overton window will rush to the right like we've never seen before. That's terrible news for Democrats. It's deadly news for democracy.